here's 20x, and now let's bring it all the way back out. There we go, all the way back to 0.7x with our ultra wide. Hey everyone, Digital David here. Today in this video, I'm going to be checking out the Google Pixel 6 Pro. I did receive this product as a gift from Google, but any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in this product, you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. You can see the nice media kit we received from Google. Shout out to Google for this fantastic gift. I want to show you guys how cool this is. So check that out. Look at that. When we open it up, it's the Google Pixel 6 Pro. And then inside you can see we got the 6 Pro and we got a 6 Pro case. So let's go ahead, let's get the 6 Pro out. You can see it comes in a beautiful retail box. It's a lot slimmer than their other Pixel devices. So they're cutting down on the size, which is great. You can see on the back, we can learn more about it. We have the Sorta Sunny color and 128 gigabytes. This is available in multiple storage capacities, 128, 256, and 512. But check that out. We even have a nice color matched box for our device. And this looks awesome, awesome, awesome. So now let's go ahead, let's open it up and look at the contents. Here are all the package contents. First up, you can see we have our safety and warranty information followed by our SIM removal tool. Next, you can see we have our quick start guide available in multiple languages with their help and support information. So you can see that guide right there. Next, we have a USB Type-C to USB Type-C charging cable. This does not come with a power brick or a wall adapter. They still give you a USB Type-C to USB Type-A adapter. This is great if you're switching over from an iPhone or another mobile device and you want to connect directly to it during the setup process. And last but not least, we have the Sorta Sunny Pixel 6 Pro. Let's go ahead, let's look at that in more detail. So first thing we gotta do, pull that off. Very satisfying. Check out that beautiful 6.7-inch display right there. We'll look at it from all sides and angles so you can see our volume control buttons right here and our power button or Google Assistant button, depending on how you want to configure it. You can see it from the top. Here it is from the other side with our SIM card slot and tray. Here it is from the bottom. You can see our USB Type-C. Beautiful finish and design. Really a good looking phone. You may have noticed too, we got our hole punch camera at the center of the display. We have our fingerprint sensor in the screen. Then here it is from the back side with our Sorta Sunny color. It looks so good. Google logo, where typically the fingerprint sensor used to be. That beautiful camera module, I love this. We got 3 different cameras. So we basically have a regular, an ultra wide, and a telephoto, and our flash. The ledge is great though. You'll find yourself, at least I do, when you're holding the phone, it's nice to kind of have a grip point for you. You can rest your finger on it just to kind of prop everything up. So I really like having this raised ledge. We'll see how it holds up long term and how I like it, but so far so good. Very comfortable, especially due to its size. You just kind of naturally rest your finger right below it. At least I do that. Wow, really beautiful. Just can't stress that enough how good this phone actually looks in person. And I'm really happy with this color. It's a fantastic choice if you're looking for a phone and you're not sure which color to get out of the Pro lineup. This is definitely my favorite by far. Really a good looking color. As you'd expect with all the Google Pixel phones, I really like how they have typically colored their devices. Now I do wish that the power button had an accent to it. So that's different to me that it doesn't have that. But really nice finish. And it feels really nice in your hand. Now let's go ahead, let's power it on. So check out our 6.7-inch OLED display, 1440 by 3120. And we have 512 PPI. We're rocking Android 12 right out of the box. So you can see how everything looks right here. Now let's go ahead, let's go into the settings. And let's look at our device storage. So you can see out of 128 gigabytes of total space, we have 14 in use right now. 12 for the system. We're showing 1.4 for our apps, but I am recording the screen right now. So out of the box, you can expect to have 114 or 115 gigabytes of usable storage space with around 13 or 14 in use for your system and all the default apps. But we have nothing else on our phone right now, so that's what you can expect. So now back in the settings, I wanted to show you guys one of my favorite features that you have to turn on right away. It's under sound and vibration. And it's now playing. This is one of the best features on this phone. It's so cool. So basically, it'll listen to songs in the background for you, whether you're driving in the car and it's playing on the radio. Maybe you're watching a video online and a song's playing, you want to know more about it. Or if you're even watching the TV and a song comes on a commercial, it may trigger it as well. And it'll give you a notification right on your screen with the song information for you. So definitely turn on now playing. So another great feature within the Pixel 6 Pro settings is the ability to share our battery. So select battery from the settings menu. You can see the different options that we have, but it's right here, battery share. So we can actually turn on battery share and we can charge other devices by placing them on the back of our Pixel, and then we can choose when to stop sharing the battery. So it works with compatible earbuds, phones, and more. So check it out. We got our Pixel earbuds right here, our Pixel Buds. We're going to put it on the back. And it just made a noise. So I just heard it make a noise. So we should see a light too. There it is. So it chimed and we have a light now. Can you see the light on there for our Pixel Buds? So it's transmitting power and charging up our earbuds. With these new Pixel 6 phones, there's a lot of hype with the Google Tensor chips. So let's go ahead, let's look at some common benchmarking apps to see the results. So in this case, first up, we have Antutu Benchmark, and you can see our score. We got a score of 51.1509, showing that we defeated 37% of users. And then we have complete breakdown of our CPU, GPU, memory, and UX ratings as well. Now, compared to the Pixel 5, which I know isn't an apples to apples comparison, since obviously this is the latest and greatest, and there was no Pro variant of the Pixel 5, I still wanted to share that score with you guys. So our Pixel 5 got a score of 31.0505. So we almost doubled it, which is pretty neat. So you can see the breakdown right here. Here's all of our CPU results. Again, we got a score of 12.4064. And then you can see our GPU results right here. We got a score of 23.3110. Here's our memory results. So check it out, 85.889. And we have 12 gigs of RAM. And then here's our UX score, 1084.46 for Android 12. Now we can take a look at our Geekbench 5 results. So here we go. You can see we got a single core score of 1016 and a multi-core score of 2721 with a nice breakdown of our system information. You can learn more about the phone as well as our processor info. So check that out right there. Here's a complete breakdown of our single core performance. Feel free to pause the screen as needed to look anything over. There's the rest of the single core. Now we can look at the multi-core performance. Then you can see the rest of our multi-core score. So now it's time for one of my favorite tests. We're going to test out the 5G speeds using the Meteor app, but first we have to get our SIM card installed. Shout out to US Mobile for the SIM card today. So let's go ahead. Let's remove the tray. So you can see here's the tray. We're going to take our SIM card. We're going to drop it right in. Now we're going to put it back in our device. And it should only take a couple of seconds here for us to get to our 5G network. Let's go ahead. Let's pull down our settings as well for our internet. And let's connect to Verizon. So we're connected to LTE right now. Let's turn off our Wi-Fi, select done. And now let's go to the Meteor app. And you can see right here, it's showing we're getting 4G with US Mobile and Verizon's network. So let's go back out of the app. Let's go back in. You can see now we have our 5G coverage. I'm gonna keep the phone right here in case there's a signal issue, but now let's go ahead, let's conduct our test. And you can see we're gonna get real world scores right here. Keep in mind the results will vary depending on where you live. I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio, 25-30 minutes outside of downtown. So if you're in a highly residential area with great towers and all that, you should get fantastic speeds. If you're in New York City, Chicago, LA, you should have fantastic speeds, probably a lot better than what you're seeing here. But check that out. 230 for our download, 24 for our upload, which is actually ironic. Those speeds are just as good, if not better, than my actual ISP provider with a hard coax wire to my house. So you can see the results right here. They're going to vary, but for app performance, any of those popular apps you would use today, we're not going to have any issues, whether it's streaming on Netflix, watching people on Twitch, YouTube, streaming Spotify, anything along those lines. With 5G, even 4G LTE speeds, you're going to have a great experience using this device. So now it's time to do some everyday and simple tasks with our Pixel 6 Pro. So we're going to browse the web. We're using Google Chrome. We're on a popular tech blog, and you can see we have an advertisement for the Pixel 6 right there, which is cool. And you can just see what it's like to browse the web with this phone. The 120 hertz refresh rate with the smooth display technology is great. It's a very enjoyable experience. The screen feels very responsive to me. You can see we have a Google Pixel review right here. So let's go ahead, let's select that one just so you can see what it's like to view an article. Look at how nice it is. I really like the display with the curve along the edges. It's just got a really nice feel. Really easy to read. Everything's sharp, clear, and crisp. You can see the different fonts here. It's doing a great job with everything. We'll move back and forth again so you can see what it's like with the screen and navigating. So very enjoyable experience. Now let's go ahead, let's watch a video. Now we got a video pulled up on YouTube so we can see what it's like when we're watching videos. This is Whale from the album To the Moon by Music Chef. Let's go ahead, let's play it for a second. Really nice experience on the mobile app for YouTube. And let's just watch the video. So everything's working great, looks really nice. Love this video, it's really cool, if I say so myself. No complaints though. Everything's working great as you'd expect if you're using this to browse the web, look on social media, watch TikToks, YouTube, anything along those lines. You'll really enjoy having all of that screen real estate for portrait or if you want to have landscape viewing. Now we're testing out the built-in mic quality of the 6 Pro. This is what it's going to sound like if you want to use this phone's microphone, whether you're streaming, taking or making phone calls, or you want to record something in and around the room. This is what it's going to sound like if you're using the built-in microphone on the Google Pixel 6 Pro. So one of the all-time great features on any Pixel phone is the built-in call screening feature. I use this all the time, especially for unwanted numbers or unfamiliar numbers that I'm not sure if I want to pick up. Really, really a helpful tool. So watch as I call the Pixel 6 Pro. So it's ringing. You can see we can screen the call. And it'll have a nice prompt with our assistant walking us through some other options.
Hi, the person you're getting service from. Get a transcript of this call. Go ahead and say why you're calling.
I'd like to talk to you about your car's warranty. So you can see the prompts right there. And now it's going to keep talking as I'm talking. So that's what you're going to see. And then we can issue another prompt back.
You need to get a hold of them urgently. Just so it's clear, go ahead and say more about why you're calling. It's difficult to understand you at the moment. Could you repeat what you just said?
Yes, it's urgent. Your car's warranty has expired. We need to talk now. So you can see everything comes through very clear. Typically, it's super accurate. If not, it's good enough. You'll be able to understand who's on the other line and you'll know right away if it's spam or an unwanted call or if it's something that's more important and you need to pick up. So another really cool feature on our Pixel 6 Pro is Live Translate. Let's go ahead. Let's bring back up our settings menu again. Now we're going to scroll down to the bottom. We're going to choose System. Then it's the second option down, Live Translate. Here we go. We can just toggle it on. Then you can see we can control if we want to download languages all the time or just on Wi-Fi, what language we're going to translate it to. And then here are all of our language options right now that are available. Tons of languages. Look at that. And then you can see currently I have Spanish already downloaded on our device, but it's very simple to add all the other ones. Then you can read more at the bottom. It says Live Translate detects other languages and shows you translations. Your phone will need to download languages to use Live Translate. So obviously download the language you want to actually have translated and you're all set and ready to go. So now let's go back out. Let's open up our messages right here. And you can see I sent myself a text message in Spanish. And now we'll get the prompt right there on the screen. Do we want to translate it? Spanish, or English. And then you can see here it is. It already translated it for us. So this is an example text message in Spanish. The Pixel 6 Pro has great value, and we can toggle that back and forth. So it's a really cool feature, super convenient to have, especially if you're bilingual, live in a bilingual family, or maybe you're traveling a lot internationally and you want to do some quick translations. You can do that right here on your phone. And lastly, it wouldn't be a Pixel review without mentioning the camera. So let's go ahead, let's pull up the camera app. Let's walk through some of the settings here, and you can see all the new options and offerings that we have. Keep in mind, they've completely revamped the backside of this camera with some fantastic sensors, and we have our lovely ultra wide selfie camera on the front side as well. So we have an ultra wide selfie camera on the front, we have an ultra wide lens on the back, as well as our regular lens, and we have a telephoto lens. So let's go ahead, before we look at some sample photos and videos, let's go over more of the features. So first up, we have camera selected. You can see right here, we can do ultra wide if we want 0.7, and then we can go all the way up to 20x. Thanks to that telephoto right there. That's really, really cool. Then we can flip it around. You can look at me and you can see we can do our regular selfie, or we can do ultra wide. So that's the options we have there. And then we can zoom in to, looks like, can we get to 3x? 2.9x is what we can get there. And then we can go back out to 0.7x for the selfie cam. Love those features. So let's dive in though. We have the settings icon at the top. You can see we can add more light if we want. So automatic for night sight or flash. Top shot, we can turn that on or off. And if you don't know what it is, you can find out more about it right here. If you turn it on though, basically it's going to be a short video to capture more of the movement. And then it's going to suggest the moment or frames that are worth saving. So you can see right there, if you're doing this little bike scene, that's how it's going to work. So you can turn that on or off. That's really cool. We can set a timer, 3 or 10 seconds. We can choose our image ratio. Then we have more settings right here. Save location, camera sounds, Google Lens suggestions. I really like this feature that now we can just point our camera at a QR code and it's going to scan it without having to, toggle over to it. Social share, gestures, frequent faces, device storage. Then we can select advanced. You can see we can show a dirty lens warning. I've had that come up already, which is really helpful. RAW and JPEG control. You can choose your different video codec right there. Social media depth features, which is cool too. So if you want to allow that. Time-lapse astrophotography we can do. Timer light. So you can see tons of features. We can turn a grid on too for framing if we want. That's pretty typical of the Pixel camera experience. Manual controls for white balance and exposure. We can choose our resolution right here, depending on your storage options. So video stabilization, we'll touch on that in a second. We have our audio zoom as well. So zooming in on subjects boosts sound and reduces background noise, which is cool. So that's some of our camera settings. And you can see we got portrait mode. We'll sample that here in a second. We have some motion options. We have action pan and long exposure. So 2 different options there for motion depending on what you're trying to capture. Really nice, and you can see the options we have. A fan favorite, night sight, is amazing. We'll look at some samples here in a second. Now let's go over to video. So you can see slow motion, normal, and time lapse. And same thing, we can go all the way out ultra wide. We can zoom all the way in right there. Pretty crazy with that. And then we have our stabilization options, standard, locked, active, and cinematic pan. And then you can see, we'll flip it around. So if we're taking a little selfie video, we can go from 1x all the way to 4x right there with our video. We could do a time lapse with that. Also, I want to show you guys, if we hit the settings, you can see we can turn on speech enhancement, selfie illumination, and we do have 4K with the front-facing selfie cam, 4K 30, or you can do 1080p 30 and 60. You can see more of our settings right here, which we already looked at. Let's go back. Now let's go back. Let's flip it around. And you can see for this camera, our different options on the screen. We want to adjust anything we can, exposure, white balance. And then we have 4K at 30 and 60, and we have 1080p at 30 and 60 from our rear-facing cameras, which is really nice. So a couple different options there. You can see though with the 60, we're going to lose some of our zoom, which is fine. but we can still go 1x to 7x right there. So great features coming out of that camera, up to 4K 60 if that's the resolution you're after. I like 4K 30 personally. Then you can see we have some modes if you like to take panorama photos or photosphere or Google Lens. You can use Google Lens right here. And then you can see the options. So translate, text, search, homework, shopping, places, dining. So you have some cool Google Lens options right there. Honestly, this camera is just so powerful. There's so many features. It would take multiple videos to go over everything that's possible with it. They just give you a lot of freedom and great tools to create amazing content. Now let's go ahead, let's look at some photos. So now looking at the photos, check it out. You can see my plant collection right here. So we adjust the zoom. You can see the options we have there. And then we have a portrait mode picture. This picture I took because I thought it'd be a lot of fun to try out some of their new editing tools. So watch this. So let's go ahead, let's select edit. Then you can select tools and we have a magic eraser. It could find suggestions for you if it maybe sees somebody in the background, but in this case, I wanted to erase that stand. Look at that, it just took it out. Now you may say, well, wait, David, the shadow's still there, and you're correct. It'd be cool if it automatically was smart enough to sense that shadow and get rid of it, but watch this. Identified it, took it right out, and now our picture is all set and ready to go. Just for fun, you can see up in the top corner, we got our AC unit hanging out. Let's see if we can get rid of that without screwing it up. Not bad at all. So check that out. How cool is that? Just for fun, let's just mess with it and try to take this whole window out. That might be too much. I'd be really curious what it's capable of doing right here. See if we got it all. Hey, that's pretty good. I'm not going to complain about that. Let's just hit it one more time and see what happens. Wow, I swear it just got even better. No way. Okay, I made it maybe a little bit worse there, but that last one, wow. That's crazy. Yeah, we could zoom in for better accuracy as well. Not just trust my fat fingers. Maybe this will help. Hey, not bad though. So you can see though, did a really good job. Look at the grass there. I think most people, just looking at this photo, would not have any idea we took that pole out right there. So definitely an awesome upgrade and a really cool feature coming out of the camera this year. We're going to discard those changes. You can see what the original photo looks like, but that's really, really cool. Here's my dog, Doug. And we have a nice portrait photo of him. Beautiful portraits, as always, with the Pixel phones. Now we have a nice selfie cam right here. Look at that. Really cool. Now you'll see, guys, we had a lot of fun with this one. So I did all the different zoom options we have. Okay, so here we go, ultra wide. Then you can see, I believe that's gonna be 1x. We'll keep going. It's on a tripod too, so nothing's changing besides us maxing out with the telephoto zoom going to 20x. So there it is, you know, 1x and here's 20x. So look at that. That's really amazing. We'll go backwards now. I like looking at this though. Look at how much more detail you see, more trash cans, more houses, more sidewalk. And then it's ultra wide. You can see some of the tripod and you can see my shadow right there. Really impressive stuff. Next up, in regards to photos, I took another portrait of this pumpkin right here. Thought that was pretty cool. Another portrait mode. Look at it, did a really good job around, I would say, the pumpkins right here. Maybe a little bit blurred where it's not supposed to, but a lot of it's really clear in detail. It's a tough shot. Next up, I did some night sight photos. Look at this. That's kind of spooky. You can see the guy coming out of his house right there. That's kind of cool though. So this was after the sunset, beautiful sky out. It looks like it's still light outside, even though it's not. You can see the next one. Here's our lovely edited photo again, where we took that stand out. Look at that. What do you guys think about that? There's our pumpkin and our lights again with night sight. I just want you guys to see what it's like with the street light on and those lights with night sight. Obviously, if you have a little bit of light coming through, it's really going to help improve night sight that much more. But I love the quality we get out of night sight. I mean, the sky's beautiful. It's cloudy, but really pretty. If you want to even just capture some night shots of the sky, you can do that. But look at how beautiful it is. Really, really fantastic. Can't say enough good things about night sight. Now let's go ahead, let's look at some video samples. So here's a quick sample video coming your way from the selfie cam. We got 4K 30 right here. It does also have two 1080p options. We can do 1080p 30 or 1080p 60 if we want. Currently, speech enhancement is turned off and we're outside. You can probably hear some of the background noise, the wind blowing, that sort of thing. Now let's go ahead, let's turn speech enhancement on. Now we have speech enhancement turned on. You can see if that makes any noticeable difference. I do hear the wind and breeze behind me, and we have some mowing and some weed whacking far off in the distance. So this is what it's going to sound like if you want to use speech enhancement to see if it makes any difference to your audio quality. Definitely something that's probably worthwhile to always have on, just to give yourself that much more of an advantage with your audio quality. Some enhancement's going to be better than no enhancement, especially if you're outside in an uncontrollable environment like I am right here. This has been your quick sample video using the selfie front-facing camera on the Google Pixel 6 Pro. Now we're taking a sample 4K 30 video from the rear camera. We have 0.7 for our ultra wide right here. There's my dog Doug on the deck, and we just have our standard stabilization on as I'm moving around with the camera. So there's 0.7x, here's 1x, 2x, 4x, check that out. And then we can go in even further, all the way up to 20x right there. Oh man, that's quite the zoom. All right, Doug. What do you got going on, buddy? But this is your 4K 30 sample video from the rear-facing camera. Now we're taking that same video again with active stabilization. This is made for heavy movement, so I'm gonna move the phone back and forth pretty quickly. We'll go up and down. Try not to make you guys dizzy, but you can see what it's like here. We actually have one more option we can go to if we really need more stability, but that's gonna mute the audio. So this is as stable as it can get. If you want to actually record audio as well and move around freely, you can see what we're able to do here as we move our phone around and how stable it's able to keep it. And we don't have ultra wide access, and we can do 1x or 2x right here, and we can pinch into 10x. That's all we get with our active stabilizer turned on. Now we're taking a 4K 30 video at 0.7x. Now you can see it at 1x. Here's 2x. Here's 4x. So you can see our 4x. Here's 8x. You can see 8x on the screen. Here's 15x. You can see 15x. And here's 20x. And now let's bring it all the way back out. There we go, all the way back to 0.7x with our ultra wide. So let me share with you guys my first impressions and final thoughts on the Google Pixel 6 Pro. I've been using this phone for a couple of days now, and I'm very, very happy with the overall experience. And that's coming from somebody that's used the Pixel 2, the 3A, the 4A, the 4A with 5G, the 5A with 5G, the Pixel 5, which is my current daily driver, and now the 6 Pro. I can't say enough good things about how they really seem to kind of take everything they've learned and they knocked it out of the park with this device. The price point is amazingly competitive on the market today, especially for the 6 versus the 6 Pro. But with this phone, I gotta say the changes they've made are great. I do miss the fingerprint sensor on the back, but I've gotten used to the fingerprint sensor on the screen, and I think that just makes more sense long term, especially with your cell phone accessories. Usually when I'm driving my Pixel 5, I have it in a suction cup phone holder, and I can never unlock it on the back without kind of propping it out and sticking my finger back there. So that's really a nice and welcomed addition. Also, I do wish they would have put Face ID into this, so hopefully they can do some sort of Face ID in the future. Love the wireless charging, love the design. The cameras are top notch. People have kind of thought maybe Google's lost their mojo with the camera the last couple of years. I still think they're the best on the market, but you can't really argue anymore that they're not the leader. Again, they've really set that bar so high. And having Google control even more of the hardware just makes the software integration that much more powerful, as you can see with things like Live Translate, all of their additional photo processing options that we have with the Magic Eraser. So cool. I just can't stress enough how powerful this phone is. all the performance that we get out of it, things I've actually noticed day to day. You might be like, well, do you actually notice that? I would say yes in regards to the camera and the performance that we get, like taking portrait photos. I feel like with my Pixel 5, it kind of lags a little bit in the sense of like you snap the photo, then you kind of got to wait, and then it's available to view. It's pretty much instantaneous with the 6 Pro. So for things like that, you can actually see a noticeable increase in upgrade. For other things, I would say with this massive screen, how responsive it is, I feel like I can tell with the smooth display that it's a lot smoother, as it would say. But overall, it's really just a solid phone and an incredible value in my opinion so far. We'll see how it holds up long term. I'm excited and hopeful that with my Pixel 5, my biggest complaint is the adaptive brightness always seems to kind of get some of my rooms and the lighting off, so the phone's always too dim when it should be a little bit brighter, and I haven't noticed that yet with the 6 Pro, so I'm optimistic that that's been fixed, whether that's Android 12 software or if that is just, better hardware, whatever it is. I'm happy that I haven't had that issue yet, but we'll see how this holds up long term. Well, that concludes our video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget the product link will be in our video description below. Please go ahead, check it out, and do your shopping from there. Any purchase made through that link helps support our channel at no additional cost to you. So we're really grateful and thankful for all of your support. While you're at it, can you go ahead and hit that like button for us? And subscribe to our channel. We have new content coming out daily, and we don't want you to miss anything. Please go ahead and give us a follow online and make it a clean sweep. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, Discord. You can message us on WeChat, check out our website, and join our free newsletter. Thank you guys so much for being here. Don't forget new content daily, and we can't wait to see you in our next video.